You slipped away like a breath held too long, silent and suffocating. My knees gave way before your footsteps even reached the horizon. You left me in the ruins of a love that never spoke aloud. The space you carved inside me bleeds in quiet desperation. You never flinched, but your leaving shattered my sacred trust. I was drowning in your absence, gasping for memories to hold. You walked away calm, like a thief stealing the last light. The echo of your goodbye still rattles my bones in the dark. You were the fire I chased, and the cold I feared to face. I held on to you, even as you slipped through my grasp like smoke. You left without a trace. But the silence you left screams louder than words. My knees gave out beneath the weight of all the unsaid things. You walked away with a heart untouched, while mine cracked open and bled. I watched the world crumble in the moment your back turned. You never faltered, but I broke in the spaces between your promises. Your absence is the shadow that haunts every quiet moment. I crumbled under the weight of your calm and effortless goodbye. You left like a secret, hidden, haunting, impossible to forget. My knees betrayed me, falling before your footsteps had even faded. You were the dream I chased, only to wake up empty-handed. You vanished like a ghost, untouchable, elusive, and gone. The moment you left, my faith in forever shattered silently. You never looked back, but I am still caught in your fading light. I gave you my all, and you walked away like it was nothing. Your calm departure broke my world in ways I couldn't speak. I stood frozen as you disappeared, my knees folding under the shock. You were the calm in my storm, until you turned away without a word. Your leaving was a quiet betrayal that screamed inside my soul. I begged you to stay, but you chose silence over love. The space you left behind is a wound no time will heal. You smoked through trembling fingers. I felt my knees give way to the cruel poetry of your absence. You walked away untouched, while I shattered into pieces unseen. I never asked you to stay. I just needed you to care enough not to leave. Your goodbye was a secret I never wanted to know. I was falling while you were rising, two destinies that could never meet. You left without a word, and my heart broke quietly inside. The space between us grew wide as you walked further away. You never flinched, but I broke beneath the weight of your silence. I still hear the echo of your footsteps fading into nothingness. You were the flame I chased, and the core shadow I couldn't escape. My knees gave out, not because you left, but because I never saw it coming. You vanished like a secret too heavy to carry. The moment you walked away, my world tilted off its axis. You left a void so vast, silence became my only companion. I watched your back disappear and felt everything inside me collapse. You never faltered, and that's what broke me completely. Your absence is a quiet scream that echoes through my soul. I crumbled where you stood tall. No one saw the cracks beneath my smile. You left without apology, and my soul learned to mourn alone. The space you left behind whispers the loudest secrets of pain. I gave you my everything. You gave me emptiness. You walked away like a shadow fading at dawn. My knees betrayed me, folding before your silence even landed. You were the sun in my sky. Then you disappeared behind clouds. You left me kneeling in the ruins of a love that never spoke. I still feel it. Your departure was a quiet storm breaking my heart in halves. I begged the universe for signs, but all I got was your silence. You walked away calm, like a thief, stealing the last light from me. The moment you left, my faith in forever died quietly inside. You vanished without a trace, but your ghost haunts my every thought. I wanted to stop you, but you were already gone beyond reach. You never looked back, and my soul still searches for the shadow of you. Your silence was colder than any storm I've ever known. I fell apart while you disappeared without a single glance. You left without a whisper, but your absence screams through every heartbeat. I watched the world crumble the moment your back turned away. You were the storm I chased, and the calm I never found. My knees gave out, not from the fall, but from the shock of your absence. You took the light with you and left me drowning in darkness. I held on to the memory of you, even as you slipped further away. You walked away like a ghost, leaving me trapped in silence. Your departure was a quiet betrayal etched deep inside my soul. I stood frozen, watching you disappear into the endless night. You never faltered, but I broke in the spaces between your promises. Left without apology, and my heart learned to bleed quietly. The space you left behind is a wound no healer can touch. My dear, I always knew you'd be special. Then you left and my knees forgot how to stand. You vanished like a ghost with no goodbye. But I still feel your shadow in every breath. The moment you walked away, I lost the gravity that held my heart in place. You never flinched, but I broke silently. No one saw the cracks. Some souls walk away like they own the night, leaving others stranded in endless dawn. You were the sun in my darkest sky. Then you turned away. Your absence hit harder than any word you never said. I watched you leave as if you were shedding my soul's skin. You slipped through my fingers, cold and calm, like a secret. I crumbled where you stood tall, no witness to my fall. The special ones don't always stay. Sometimes they become legends of loss. I never needed you to stay. I needed you to feel the weight of leaving. Your silence was a hammer breaking the fragile glass of us. Every heartbeat after you left felt like a betrayal to myself. You walked away without looking back. My world shattered in slow motion. I carried your absence as a wound I was afraid to name. You were the missing piece that left my puzzle bleeding edges. I still hear your footsteps fading, a cruel lullaby to my pain. You left without flinching, while I broke down in the echo of goodbye. The space you left behind is a canyon of unspoken regret. I craved your presence, but you chose absence, cold and absolute. You were the only story I wanted to rewrite, but you burned the pages. My knees gave out, not because you left, but because I never saw it coming. I felt the air thin when you walked away, like the world forgot how to breathe. You were never mine, only a memory that refuses to fade. I wanted you to stay, but you were always too special for chains. The quiet you left behind screams louder than any goodbye. I was falling while you were rising. Two paths never meant to cross. You walked away like a stranger. I still know your heartbeat. I learned the hardest lesson. Sometimes love isn't enough to hold. You never faltered, and that's what crushed me. I still wonder if you felt the fracture beneath your feet. Your leaving was a ceremony of destruction dressed in calm. Some departures don't whisper, they scream into the silence of the soul. You were the question I never dared to answer. I tried to catch you, but you dissolved like smoke in my hands. You left a wound no healer could find. I watched my knees buckle under the weight of your absence. You were the ocean, and I was just a wave that crashed alone. You walked away without a trace, leaving me a ghost in my own story. The ground beneath me cracked as you turned your back. You never looked back, but I'm still frozen in that moment. Your silence was colder than any storm I've known. I knew you'd be special, but not the kind that leaves. You took the light and left the darkness to swallow me whole. The space you left behind whispers the loudest secrets. I folded under the weight of your calm departure. You disappeared without apology, and my soul learned to mourn in quiet. You were the flame I chased until I burned alone. Your footsteps echo in the hollow of my broken trust. I fell apart while you walked away untouched. I never wanted you to stay. I just wanted you to care. You left like a thief, stealing the warmth I once held. The day you left, my world tilted off its axis. I gave you my everything. You gave me the void. You always knew you'd be special, because you never looked back. My knees gave out, not from the fall, but from the shock of your absence. You vanished without warning, but I still carry your ghost. Your leaving was a quiet storm that broke me in half. You walked away with a heart untouched. Mine shattered behind you. I begged the universe for signs, but it only echoed your silence. You were the sun I reached for, then you disappeared behind clouds. I still feel the echo of your calm departure in my bones. You never flinched, but I broke with a silent scream. Your absence carved out a space no one else could fill. You left like a shadow fading into the night. I watched you walk away and lost the strength to stand. You were the dream I never wanted to wake from. You walked away and left my heart holding the shattered pieces. I stood still as you disappeared and felt everything collapse inside me. Your departure was a quiet betrayal that screamed in my silence. I always knew you'd be special, but never this distant. You left without flinching, and I broke where you stood strong. I wanted to stop you, but you were already gone. You were the storm I chased until I was lost in the rain. Your leaving was the final truth I couldn't deny. I watched the space between us grow and felt my knees give way. You never looked back, but my soul still searches for you. You left without a whisper, but your absence screams in every corner of me. I fell to my knees because your leaving was the only truth I couldn't escape. The space you left behind feels like a wound that refuses to close. You walked away calm, like a storm that never needed to roar. I never saw you break, only felt my own pieces shatter. Silently, your eyes never betrayed the goodbye you carried in your heart. I thought you'd stay, but you vanished like a secret too heavy to hold. You took the sun with you and left me drowning in shadow. I trembled in your absence, where love once stood fierce and unbreakable. You walked away without a backward glance. My soul froze in that moment. The ground beneath me shifted when you vanished, and I lost my balance forever. You were the calm in my storm. Then suddenly, the silence became my scream. I watched your back disappear, and my knees surrendered to the weight of goodbye. Yeah. Undoing. The echo of your footsteps still haunts the halls of my heart. I needed you to stay, but you chose to become a ghost instead. Your leaving wasn't loud, but it broke everything I thought was unbreakable. You left, like a shadow dissolving at dawn, silent, yet devastating. I felt my knees give way to the cruel poetry of your departure. You were the fire I chased until you became the cold I feared. Your absence is a quiet ache that no words can heal. You walked away untouched, while I shattered like glass beneath your feet. I never begged you to stay, but I needed you not to leave like that. You left a void so vast, even silence cannot fill it. You were the dream I chased, only to watch it slip through my fingers. Your goodbye was a secret I never learned to keep. I stood frozen as you disappeared, the weight of loss pinning me down. You vanished without flinching, leaving me to collect the shattered pieces alone. The moment you left, my knees crumbled beneath the weight of disbelief. You were the only certainty I lost in a sea of maybe. I watched you leave and felt the ground crack beneath my soul. Your absence is the cold breath that haunts my every morning. You left without apology, but my heart still bears the scars of your silence. I never saw the goodbye coming, only felt the fracture it left behind. You were the spark that ignited me, then the darkness that consumed. Your calm departure was the loudest heartbreak I've ever known. I wanted to hold you, but you slipped through like smoke. You walked away with a heart untouched, mine shattered in your wake. I gave you everything, then learned how fragile love can be when it breaks. Your leaving was a slow unraveling of everything I thought we were. I still feel the cold where your warmth once lived. You were the light I reached for before you disappeared into shadow. You left me kneeling in a prayer I didn't know how to say. Calm a canyon inside me, deep and endless. I never wanted you to leave. I just wanted you to see what you meant to me. You walked away like a secret, too heavy to carry anymore. I crumbled where you stood tall. No one saw the cracks beneath my smile. Your silence is the loudest goodbye I'll ever hear. I still hear your footsteps fading, a cruel lullaby to my broken heart. You never flinched, but I broke in the stasis between your words. The moment you left, the world lost its color. Everything turned to gray. I wanted to stop you, but you were already gone. You were the storm I chased until I was lost in the rain. Your leaving was the final truth I could deny. It was the final truth I couldn't deny. Leave. You never looked back, but my soul still searches for you. I still remember how you left, like a shadow fading into night. Your absence is a wound dressed in silence and regret. I gave you my heart, and you walked away like it was nothing. You left without a word, and my knees betrayed me in the quiet. The space you left behind is a ghost haunting my every thought. I was falling while you were rising, two paths never meant to cross. You walked away like a stranger, but I still know your heartbeat. You never faltered, and that's what crushed me. I still wonder if you felt the fracture beneath your feet. Your leaving was a ceremony of destruction dressed in calm. Some departures don't whisper. They scream into the silence of the soul. You were the question I never dared to answer. I tried to catch you, but you dissolved like smoke in my hands. You left a wound no healer could find. The moment you stepped away, my faith in forever died quietly. I watched my knees buckle under the weight of your absence. You were the ocean, and I was just a wave that crashed alone. You walked away without a trace, leaving me a ghost in my own story. The ground beneath me cracked as you turned. You're back. You never looked back, but I'm still frozen in that moment.